The industry's changed a lot in the last year. For the last 4 years, there was very little room or pathway to responsible innovation in stablecoins and cryptocurrency. And this year, the field is wide open. There's a tremendous amount of innovation going on in collateral on the blockchain. So that's very, very exciting and can solve for a lot of difficult to solve problems. On occasion, I worry that there is less of a focus on enforcement on the basics. And so I hope that with the government reopening and with a permanent chair at the CFTC and hopefully a full commission and potentially a full commission at the SEC as well, that there will be just that right balance between responsible innovation, customer, investor protection, enforcement of misconduct, and of course fighting financial crimes.
What are the key challenges for firms operating in this space?
Obviously, there's a challenge when firms are trying to operate and trying to innovate and trying to do so responsibly. To do that, you often have to have regular interactions with staff and the commissioners. There's only one commissioner right now at the CFTC, and only one has been nominated to be the permanent chair. So as opposed to 5 or more channels of communication into the CFTC across a full panel of 5 commissioners plus staff, which would make 6 lines of communication, you have one. And sometimes that pipe is not wide enough for the throughput of communication that registrants and potential registrants need to be able to innovate compliantly and get a little feedback and some understanding about how to bring new products and new services to the marketplace. A lot of areas of innovation, prediction markets, crypto companies wanting to trade spot on CFTC derivatives markets under existing rule sets. A lot of new and interesting things. A number of these entities need to get new designations, and those designation processes can be slow. There has never been a registration of an exchange in less than 180 days. Never. We are in a new world, and so it is theoretically possible to get exchanges approved and up and running and much, much faster. The key issue is there are fewer staff. Many have been retired or RIF'd. You've lost a lot of expertise. And more importantly, a lot of the times the reason why new registrations take so long is because the controls and the substance isn't quite there yet. So it's great to have an application in place, to have an 180-day clock start ticking so that the CFTC can say yes or no to the registration. But for companies that are looking to come to market quickly, that's often in the prediction market space and elsewhere, the real key is to have the goods there. To have the processes, the controls, the technology, the people, the ability to really conduct and operate effectively and compliantly and comply with all the core principles at the time that you're filing the application or right just thereafter. If you file a sort of 50% finished application with a 50% finished set of operations, you're not going to get to market fast. You need to do the work, and you can do that work now, and you can do it quickly, and we can help you with that.
What are your thoughts on SEC's Project Crypto initiative?
I laud the SEC for being innovative and being creative and fostering responsible innovation. I think their projects and initiatives are terrific. They're making real progress. I'm a big fan of piloting and sandboxing. I also believe in harmonization between the SEC and the CFTC. They have distinct missions. The entire industry and markets benefit from their working hand in hand. They have not always worked hand in hand. I think those initiatives are going to be successful. I think they're great, and I'm excited to see where they go.
What are the regulatory risks and opportunities for prediction markets?
The biggest regulatory risk is litigation. Everyone's very familiar with litigation posture, across the country between Kalshi and Crypto.com and others, and the tribes and the states. The tribes and the states have certain interests and revenue expectations that are imperiled by the potential ability of a CFTC registrant, a DCM, to go ahead and offer their products nationwide, even in states that otherwise might not allow for certain types of trading or wagering, however you want to call it. That will take a time to play out. We'll all be watching it very closely. When I was a division director at the Division of Market Oversight, one of the teams that reported to the director is a team of economists that looks to see whether contracts that are self-certified comply with the rules. And one of the key elements of complying with the rules is whether it's readily susceptible to manipulation. I look out there in the universe of contracts offered by DCMs, and I see more than one that, in my view, are very much readily susceptible to manipulation. An example is mention markets will so-and-so mention these 5 words during the middle of an earnings call. One person can mention all 5 words and result in the outcome. Those types of things really concern me. So I think one of the challenges are twofold. What I talked about first, and the second challenge is making sure you understand whether the self-certified contracts that you're looking to list comply with the rules, and those include not readily susceptible to manipulation and a few other elements.
What are the compliance hurdles for launching a prediction market platform in the US?
The great part about the CFTC is it is a principles-based regulator. If you are seeking to get designated as and to operate as, for example, an exchange, let's say a DCM, you have to comply with 23 core principles. You can comply with them any way you want. There are a few acceptable practices, which are like safe harbors. If you do it this way, you're in compliance. The beauty of that is whether it's in crypto or prediction markets or elsewhere, it doesn't impose a certain compliance, a set of compliance obligations that will soon become outdated because of innovation and changes in innovation. And so as a result, compliance programs, indeed internal control frameworks, operations, systems, technology, people, staffing, etc., they can evolve under principles-based regulation. Sometimes it's a little bit of a challenge because people don't understand how they comply with, say, conflicts of interest, since there aren't prescriptive rules at the CFTC like there are at the SEC. But there are experts out there like us, Tölt Strategies, that have seen what are market best practices, what's sort of the breadth and variety of ways to comply with those types of things, and have seen how they've gone wrong and how they've gone well and how they've been able to evolve over time. With the help of those who are really fluent in principles-based regulation, you can overcome those compliance challenges. There are a lot of people who've left the agency, and industry, there's turnover in industry. There are a lot of new and existing exchanges and intermediaries, broker-dealers, FCMs, IBs, clearinghouses that need additional help because they're growing so quickly. So if you are someone who is looking and has skills and capacity, we are hiring at Tölt Strategies. We're growing like crazy, and we have a lot of clients who need compliance and similar types of expertise.
What do you predict for prediction markets in the near future?
There are a lot of entrants into the prediction markets. There hasn't been a lot of clarity from the Commission as to what can and can't happen, so anything goes right now. I hope to see a little bit more clarity, particularly around contracts that are readily susceptible to manipulation. But my prediction is fierce competition. It's going to be very fun to watch. It's going to be very fun to participate in. So that's where I see it going.
How do you balance innovation with regulatory compliance when working with blockchain?
The blockchain and crypto industry has looked at the SEC, which is a regulator that takes a prescriptive approach. Really long sets of rules telling registrants how to do what they need to do in exact ways that the SEC expects it. That doesn't always work with every type of technology, every type of market structure, every type of everything. So what you found is that the crypto industry couldn't comply with those because a lot of them were not relevant and they simply couldn't register and operate compliantly. My favorite part is that the CFTC, which is likely to get spot market jurisdiction of the crypto industry, has principles-based regulations. You need to comply with these basic principles. For example, conflicts of interest, segregation of assets, how to deal with insolvency, avoiding or limiting or detecting market misconduct practices, things like that. But it doesn't tell you how to do it. And so as a result, it's the ideal framework for really fast-moving, innovative industries like cryptocurrency and blockchain. There's some real exciting opportunities to have stablecoins and other assets serve as collateral on the blockchain. Those technologies, as they develop, can solve a lot of issues and allow for 24/7 trading and a whole bunch of other progress in our market structure. Problem is those companies don't know how to operate under principles-based regulation. It's a little unusual. They've been thinking about how to operate under the prescriptive SEC regulation for a long time. And so there are regulatory consulting firms like ours, Tölt Strategies, that have deep expertise in principles-based regulation and can help those companies plan for and think about how they can come to market as quickly, to be leaders in the market as quickly as possible, allows them to innovate long-term with fewer obstacles and changes.